Hey guys, super quick astro transmission because I don't want to spend too much time doing non-evergreen stuff on this platform. That is not the focus of this. Eventually, I'll be doing deep dives and have some kind of a membership if you want to be part of my deep dives. And those will be, what's happening at the time it's happening. But for today, because we're in a special time, I just want to share what's happening over the next couple of weeks because it's kind of epic and it's kind of dramatic. I mean, we all can agree that the astrology of 2025 just wants to be dramatic and it's not stopping. So let's just talk about it. What's happening today? We've got a black moon. Black moon is a time when we have two new moons in 1 month. It is very rare. So we had a new moon in Leo and now we have a new moon in Virgo. These are both happening in August. Okay, so that's powerful. Big deal. We're losing the light. We're transitioning to fall. We're transitioning to cooler weather in the northern hemisphere. Leo's being out in the sun and playing, and Virgo's about getting shit done, right? Return to school, all of that. Return to campus, return to life. And then it's a dark moon and a black moon. Cool. What else is happening? Well, when we have the Virgo new moon, it's at 0 degrees of Virgo. And then in September, we have a second new moon in Virgo at 29 degrees of Virgo. That's kind of cool. By the way, there is no 30 degree in a mark. So next, after 29 degrees of Virgo, we're on to, what's the next sign? Yeah, 0 degrees of Libra. So the 29th degree of any sign is the anaretic degree, wicked powerful. Okay. And the 0 degree is really powerful because it starts a new whole energy. So that's interesting to me. So we have this beginnings and endings. We have this book ending shit going on right now, right? I'm sure you can feel this and nobody knows what's going on. We're all confused. I'm not somebody who normally changes my mind all the time. I've been like just all over the place. And it could be like, perimenopause induced ADHD, which is a thing. But I don't know. I think it's like we're all afraid to commit because everything is changing. And so that's not going to go away. So what else is happening right now? Well, I've talked about this before, but Uranus is going to leave Gemini in about 2 weeks. It's not going to leave Gemini. It's going to go retrograde on September 6th. It's going to be in Gemini until October 8th in retrograde. Saturn's leaving Pisces on September 1st. Saturn is not going to be back in Aries. Saturn's going to leave Aries and go into Pisces. I can't edit this podcast. And so, right when you hit Labor Day in the Northern Hemisphere in the US and things start to slow down, well, Saturn goes back into Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac. Endings. And then Saturn is going to come back into Aries in forward motion in Valentine's Day. So Labor Day to Valentine's Day, that difference, right? That's the whole winter. It's the time where you kind of like, I got to put away my shorts until the time you're like, I'm going to I just got to get through 2 more weeks of winter and we're there. It's pretty much 2 seasons of the year. Uranus will not be forward in Gemini until May. I've probably covered this before. So this is it. And then to make it extra dramatic, we've got this Virgo beginning and ending. Now that would be dramatic anyway, because Virgo is the sign of digestion. It's assimilation. So what happens with Virgo, and it happens with the digestive system, is you don't have to be a scientist to understand this. You eat the food, some of it gets used by your body, the rest of it goes to waste and you get rid of it, which is what Scorpio is. And so we are going through everything in life and what is going to stick around and what's going to go. Virgo season is always about getting your shit together, but this is really powerful because what we're going to talk about next, which is that the second Virgo new moon is an eclipse. And we start eclipse season on the Virgo new moon. So that's a 6-week period of time. People call it a portal. I'm going to call it a period of time where shit goes sideways. Now, this is completely dependent on your chart. Completely dependent on your chart, regardless of what anyone wants to sell you. If this is happening on a planet or a point, well, this is going to blow up your life. And if this is happening like just in general, it's just like, oh, okay, let me think about where's Virgo for me, where's Pisces for me. So the 2 eclipses are happening in Virgo Pisces. The new moon's going to be in Virgo. The full moon in early September is going to be in Pisces. I won't come back here before then. So yeah, let me tell you that. That's in Pisces. And we all know that Virgo Pisces is the axis of spirituality. It's the axis of discernment, spiritual discernment versus like physical discernment, spiritual service versus practical service. And so that has implications for business if you're in the alternative business space. And Pisces is endings and what needs to go. So oftentimes people who have a powerful eclipse season, they won't leave eclipse season unscathed. It's like, I can just speak for myself personally. The amount of change I'm making in my life is very, very dramatic. It's overdue. And it's not something that's like going to make you like excited. I mean, it's like I'm closing out a business. I talked about that in my last podcast. There's so much paperwork involved. I am wrapping up certain kinds of work I'm doing with people that I'm not going to do again. I am, whatever, my garden kind of needs to be wrapped up. But that's been my whole summer project. Like I need to change around my habits. I mentioned perimenopause, and in perimenopause, you can't live the way you used to live before. You can't eat the way you used to eat. You can't have the lifestyle you used to have. So I need to make some major changes. Virgo is about habits and routine. I need to change my circadian rhythm. I need to change the way I eat. I need to change my protein intake. I need to change how I use blue light. Like those aren't working for me anymore. Eclipse season is like, what's not working anymore? And you add this dramatic of Saturn going back into Pisces. Saturn is the taskmaster. Saturn is what's the long-term plan. You add in all of this. And it's definitely a time to go inward. And the temperature is going to help a lot of us, depending on where we live. And so, it's just a lot of fucking shit at once. And I just wanted to say that. Because, powerful, intense, big deal. And the eclipses are in that axes. I'm not going to do a whole deep dive on the eclipses. I just wanted to share this quickie. And what else? So this is something cool that I'm not into the fixed stars. Fixed stars are an aspect of astrology. You could, be into 25,000 different aspects of astrology. And that's not an exaggeration. But Regulus is a fixed star that has to do with like royalty. And it's a big deal. Regal, Regulus. And it used to be in Leo. And in 2021 or in 2011, it switched into Virgo. I believe it's sitting at 0 degree Virgo, and the fixed stars don't move very often. And that was a big deal. A lot of astrologers are making it a big deal. I don't really care. But if you think about this whole notion of Leo as like me, top-down leadership, and you think of Virgo as practical service, well, there's a shift in what is considered like a leader. And we're seeing that play out in the world stage. We're seeing that play out in the business space. I try not to talk about business too much in this because I don't know who the audience is, but like in the coaching industry and the fucking all the bullshit, it's all these fake ass whatever, right? They're the loudest, the influencer. I mean, the death of the influencer has got to be soon. There's got to be a tipping point with the influencer shit. It got to be. It's just about making money and look at me and celebrities. I mean, people don't care about celebrities anymore. I mean, they care a little bit, like Taylor Swift. Yes, they care about her. But you know what I'm saying? Like celebrity worship is kind of like people are bored. And so it's like, it's interesting because 2011 is when Uranus went into Aries and when the selfie stick came out and when Instagram came out. So like I said, I don't really work with the fixed stars. So like I'm just talking on my ass here. I don't really see the correlation there, but it's information for you to know because the new moon is at 0 degrees of Virgo. So this new moon will conjunct Regulus. So if that's exciting to you, well, there you go. And I'm sure that I know that for a reason, and maybe I'll research it later. But yeah, so this is kind of what a taste of what I'm going to do in my longer term paid stuff. I'll do deep dives. I'll do what does this mean for you and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. And that will be in 2026 when I know what that is. And I just wanted to share this with you because by the time I come back onto this podcast, will probably be the end of September. And I will probably drop the historics that I mentioned, Uranus and Gemini historics, Saturn and Aries, Neptune and Aries historics. Because at that point, if I don't do it, it's over. And for me personally, by the time we get out of the full moon phase of the second eclipse, that's how I do it. So when we get out of the full moon phase, so give it a couple more days. So what are we talking now? I don't know when the eclipses. I think it's like late September, right around fall equinox, which makes it even more intense. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. The Virgo eclipse is like on the cusp of fall equinox, which makes it more intense. It's like, dude, so like sun fading where I live. Today, my local farm had a farm sale for the fall plants. It's early because the weather dripped early. I'm recording this now. We're entering the dark moon now. And when we officially hit fall, this period will be over. So think about that. So we're in this window of time, and maybe I'll come back then and drop the rest of the stuff, or maybe I'll do it before. But here's why I want to do it before, because I want to clean out all my old content. I've got so much stuff I've recorded for this podcast, that podcast, videos I never put up on YouTube, stuff on my phone when I was going to do Instagram. It's like, I just want to get rid of all this shit. Or I want to put it in folders for the future. And it's like, that's a Virgo. It's like, what's organizing, what's practical, what is useful, you know? Okay, so fine, you organize it, but then eclipse season, it's like, what is even relevant to what you want to work on anymore? I'm speaking for me. Look at that for you. You can see how those two are working together. Very dramatic, 0 degrees, 29 degrees. Then we've got a black moon leading up to it. Then we've got it conjunct Regulus. Then we go into a 6-month eclipse season with, that involves, the sign that's the endings, while Uranus goes back into Taurus for the last time in like 84 years. And then like Saturn goes back into Pisces for the last time in like 30 years, right? Lots of beginning and endings. And then on February 20th, Saturn and Neptune conjunct at 0 degrees of Aries, the first degree of the zodiac, for the first time since 1703. Dude, the next 6 months are so fucking dramatic. I'm recording this on August 20th. So I can't do the math, but I believe that's 6 months from today, February 20th, if I'm not mistaken. So you guys, this is a 6-month window of time. And by the way, eclipses are 6 months. Okay. So the new moon eclipse that happens at 0 degrees of Virgo, and now we're going to have another one at 0 degrees of Virgo. Not, you know what I'm trying to say. You could pick your poison. Pick your poison. But in about 6 months, we should have a corresponding full moon in Virgo. We should. It's not always that. I'm sure that's going to be like in... I just realized something, you guys. I'll say it after this. I don't know when that full moon in Virgo is. So look that up. That's easy for you to look up. February, March, whenever. And so this 6-month period of time is that bookend. So you may not see dramatic stuff now, but you might see, because Pisces involved, I think there's a lot of endings. Again, all related to your chart. And the Pisces portion of this is a full moon. So that's a culmination. And Virgo is where the south node is, and Pisces is where the north node is. Always the eclipses are where the nodes are. So this first new moon is a clearing out. Well, this first new moon is a preparation. Then we start life again. Then we have a interesting dichotomy where we've got a full moon culmination in Pisces endings, but it's in the north node. So I would say that the next 2 weeks are preparing for what the fuck is not in our highest service, our highest good, our spiritual good, our body good, detox, digestion, all the things, whatever speaks to you. I've got so much in there, and I don't want to make this about me, but it's like getting back to spiritual practice, getting back in touch with, all the things. For me, being in the garden is spiritual. I talk to my animals in there. I talk to my plants in there. I would say when I microdose mushrooms, the biggest thing I get is my plants will tell me how much water they need. It's like you're more connected to the earth when you're connected to whatever. Anyway, you get it. So that's what's happening. And so it's a clearing out. It's dramatic. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And the big aha I wanted to give you is that this podcast, Cosmic Alarm Clock, which became a number of things, and I don't even know if I'm going to stick to this, but for now, because I gave you a last story last time of what this started out as, it almost feels like, is it played out? Is it old? Does it really represent where I want to go? The reality is I don't know where I'm going to go, because it's going to be in spring of next year. It's going to be when Uranus enters Gemini. That's when, if and when I do this project, that'll be what I do. I'll be coming on here bits and bobs because I got stuff to say, and also because I recorded a bunch of stuff that I want to drop for you, and I will do preambles before each of that, so you know why I'm doing it, and that's to come. So you'll get a lot of stuff in September, early October, potentially, way more than you can expect after that. But it's yeah. I speak in archetypes, right? So it's not about if you don't catch this episode today, you're going to miss it. And this is a prediction for you. And it's like, think about the bigger picture. Always be thinking about the bigger picture. And, you don't need me to tell you that, everything is going batshit out there. Lots of endings, lots of crazy town. And, we're going to see a lot of that. A lot of crazy shit could happen during eclipse season. That's especially with the fixed star stuff. So the fixed star stuff is has to do with like world leadership. So that could be interesting. So here's what I wanted to say is this podcast was birthed on the Virgo. Was it the Virgo? Yes. The Virgo full moon of 2022. I don't remember then that was. That was still when I was channeling. So that would have been March, I believe. Yes, it was March. I get it confused if it was March or May because I started on YouTube in May. I did my first YouTube video when Jupiter went into Aries. It used to be an astrology channel. Now I don't know what the hell it's going to be. And I'm not even touching that until the fall. I just put a thing on my YouTube channel that said under construction because I'm just like, nah. So more clarity to come. Eclipses are when things are dark. You feel like you're in a tunnel. And I want to kind of just educate that we're in a tunnel and it starts today. Because the dark moon starts today. The official black moon is the 22nd and the 21st. But the dark moon starts today. And so my thing is from the time I'm recording this to the time we hit full equinox, we're in a tunnel. Dramatic. So I hope this was useful. Look about all this and happen up in your chart, and then I'll be having ways to have people work with me and do stuff with me in a group and one-to-one, and that's to come. And so that's why I think for me, I want to get all of those old episodes up here. Not they're not old, you know what I'm saying? They're what Cosmic Alarm Clock was, which was collective political discussions about stuff. And I want to put those all up, if I'm going to put them up before the end of eclipse season, before the end of September. 1, because they'll get stale, but 2, because then whatever this is going to be, it's going to be something else. And then they're just not going to be seen. And then they're just going to go into the bin, because I'm like, I have this new thing where I'm like, I'm not keeping all these files on my computer. It's, it used to be like we had physical clutter, and we used to have like health clutter. Like if you're constipated, that's health clutter. You know what I'm trying to say. And now I don't think we realize the power of digital clutter. It's a lot. If you do anything in any business space, it's a lot. Or whatever, you have a bunch of hobbies, or you take a bunch of courses, like it's a lot. And I think that digital clutter is really like, has more of an impact on our brain than we realize. So that's what I'm going to be doing. You do you, boo. And I'll see ya when I see ya in September. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next one.